I just recently finished Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and after playing this game, I knew that I had to make a video about it. Keep in mind that there will be no spoilers, but rather brief explanation about the first chapter and other small things worth noting. There's a lot of things I want to say, so let's get right into it. When you begin the game, it is clear that you are playing a JRPG. You have your enemy encounters, party gauges, different moves which are otherwise known as arts, and blades. Blades are unlocked by either playing the story or by awakening blades using core crystals. Blades are characters that you unlock and bond with. If you haven't played this game, this probably isn't making any sense, but just think of them as weapons. This right here is my first complaint about the game. The core crystals. They're quite easy to obtain, but bonding with them is random. It's like opening loot boxes. You have your commons, rares, and legendaries, and you shouldn't even waste time on your commons. I know there's probably ways you can farm crystals, but it just takes a long time and I'm lazy. I'm not going to go into detail about the RPG elements because there is just too much, but just know that this right here is an RPG. You have skill trees, items, leveling, you know the deal. But the next thing I want to talk about is the world. I just love Alrest. It is so freaking cool. Every Titan has a huge world to explore and run around in. This is a map from Final Fantasy 13. It's linear and it's bad, but man, these Titans are huge, each with their own town, side quest, and unique characters. It truly is something magical. But the gameplay is not the only thing that's magical. Only two games have ever made me cry. The first one being The Last of Us, and the second one is Katamari Damacy on the PlayStation 2. But after playing this game, I have to make it 3. Whenever I play a game, I don't really care that much about the story, but after completing the first chapter, I was hooked. The game starts off with a man who appears to be in the sea. This later turns out to be a boy, and the main protagonist, Rex. And I'll be honest, at first, I really didn't like Rex. His outfit was weird, his voice acting was okay, but as the game continued into the later chapters, I felt really connected to him. Of course I won't be explaining why, but just keep in mind that this game gets crazy, and I really wish I could talk about it, but I just can't. Go play the game for yourself, please. Rex is a boy who lives on a small titan that he calls Gramps. He lives his day by diving into the sea and salvaging treasure for profit. Apparently he's so good at salvaging that he's offered a big salvaging job for 100,000 gold, and he's like, okay. After he agrees, he meets some guy named Jin, a tiger named Dromark, another guy named Malos, and a cat girl who always roasts him.
What the hell? You look as much like a kid as I do, lady.
At least I wouldn't wet myself for the promise of a measly £100,000.
I'm dying inside. I like your attitude.
So they go on their adventure, and that's all you need to know. Because like I said, this story gets crazy. There are other events and NPCs that add much more to the world. They don't have much to do with the story, but it just makes the game feel much more alive. Little girl, I don't think your dad is ever gonna come back. Trust me, that's just what they tell you. But like I said, this game gets crazy. Remember Infinity War? This game gets crazy. That's all I'm gonna say. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is nice to look at, in a lot of ways. Is it in 1080p? No. Does it run at 60 frames per second? No. But you know what this game does have? Characters. And these characters, they're nice on the eye. What I'm saying is, this game has a lot of fan service. And I congratulate Monolith Soft for not censoring this game in the US. For example, I love how Rex's butt is always in view. This is one of the reasons why I encourage the purchase of this game as soon as possible. Another thing that is worth mentioning is the architecture. When I first saw Zora's Domain in Breath of the Wild, I was fascinated. But Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the visuals are just crazy. The lights that are hung in Argentum, the buildings in Uraya, the game is so beautiful, artistically and emotionally. And why emotionally, you might ask? Well, I guess you just have to play the game for yourself to find out. It's so weird to me running across the land and looking up and seeing that you're actually on top of a giant creature. It's sort of a daunting reminder that anything can happen. Remember Infinity War? Play the game yourself. A big deciding factor that depends whether I love a game so much is the music, and my gosh, the music in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 does not disappoint at all. Everything from the battle themes, world themes, and town themes are just crazy good. It doesn't matter what you're doing, the game will always choose the right music for every occasion. Whether you're shopping in Fonset, watching an intense cutscene, or fighting a legendary monster, it's really on point. Super Mario Galaxy 2 is always going to be the king for me, and it's going to take something monumental to take it down from its throne, but I think it's safe to say that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 made it onto my personal top 10, and that's saying a lot. Play the game yourself. Part of me wishes that I had played the first game before jumping onto this one. It turns out there's a lot of references that I probably missed, and there's even DLC that I really want to play soon. But before any of that, there's still a lot of things that I want to do with the second game. So with all of that being said, should you play Xenoblade Chronicles 2? Yes, of course. The characters, the story, the music, the gameplay, Rex's butt, everything about this game is just perfect. And to be honest, I really wish I played it sooner. Like when it came out. There are so many other things that I wish I could include in this video, but I just can't. You just gotta go play the game for yourself. And also, you can play a video game inside of a video game in this video game. And also Pyra's in this game, so that's basically a 10 out of 10 game of the year.